what's your exact role with the Rangers?
Special assistant to the GM, but it's kind of a hybrid thing. I mean, it goes from being involved when they go into trade talks, free agency. Right now, we're in our pro scouting meetings, and then we'll go through what our potential targets are for the off season. And then when the season starts, it's obviously getting to see some affiliates go down to Double A and Triple A, which is what I usually do during the season. See them in spring training, get a chance to talk to the young kids, which is usually the best part, right? When you see them in the minor leagues and see what they can, if you can give them anything that can help them on their path to the big leagues, and not just get into the big leagues. I mean, AJ, it's every minor leaguer says they want to get here, but a lot of guys get here. It's about staying here and being really good here, and that's the toughest part. So if we can do anything to help them out along the way, that's a ton of fun on our end.
Hey, just admit you got the best job in the world, dude. You go to Double A and Triple A. I mean, you live in Dallas. Frisco's what, 20 minutes maybe from downtown Dallas. Round Rock's not very far.
Nope.
I mean, you got the best job. You're like, oh wait, I'm not going to Hickory. I'm not going to, wherever. I don't even know where the Down East Wood Ducks are, but I mean, Low A. But I mean, oh yeah. Sorry. Hey, CY, you need me to check a team out? Oh, I'll go to Frisco for the next week. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Jack Leiter's pitching in Frisco. You want to go check him out? Yeah, I'll ride my bike over there and check him out. It's pretty nice, dude. Honestly, like you said it, man. It is a great job, and I give the Rangers have been so great. I can't ask for anything more. To be involved in this, and then like you mentioned, when we go to the World Series, and I was there with Adrian and Ian. I think for us, we go just to support everyone who's dumped, blood, sweat, and tears in this thing. That was the fun part. It's like seeing our scouts like super excited, our front office, obviously, and just to be there and be supportive of that group was pretty damn cool, man.
So what stood out to you about the transactions from the Rangers over the past, I would say especially couple years that have put this together? I know that, the foundation goes back for a while, of course, with the John Daniels era as well. But like, what's stood out to you that you guys can take heading into this offseason?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is when you look at, like everything else, you have to develop from within. So you look at Josh Young having a huge year, Evan Carter, then you look at the trades like Jonah Heim and getting a Dolis for basically nothing and have him be like a star. And then you go into what everyone has to be able to do in order to be consistently good, which is go out there and invest in the free agent market. And you get Corey and Marcus and Uvalde, and you get Haney, and you have the ability to go out and trade for Max. I mean, because we have an ownership group that's invested, and you've got to have that at some point to kind of like supplement everything else you do well: draft, develop, make good trades, and then you got to be able to kind of punch in and get some really great players. And now we have the best middle infield in the game, and we went out and invested in free agency in order to get it.
What about the ALCS for you guys? Was that just as big in a way as winning the World Series because you took down the big bad Astros in the state?
That was crazy. From a fan's perspective, it's really difficult to not get emotional, right? Because it is the Astros, and even though when I was a player, it was just that ridiculous Silver Boot series because they were still a National League team. So you're playing like the home and home rivalry series, but it wasn't a rivalry, right? They were in the National League, we were in the American League. AJ was more of a rival with the Astros than we were because he played them in the World Series, right? It wasn't a rivalry for us, but now it's something different, right? They're competing for the same team. They're competing in the same division. There's sparks flying. Guys are getting hit left and right, and players are getting emotional. And as a fan, you kind of like dig that. You lean into it and just kind of enjoy it.
I mean, if I was you, did you celebrate? Because here's I know you said it was happy and sad, but like as a player, you celebrate different than you do as a front office personnel person. I mean, you still celebrate though, right? You're still popping bottles. But it's not the same. I don't know. Explain that, because I've never been through that situation. But I know what it was like as a player, and now as a front office person, are you a little bit more like cautious on how much you celebrate?
Yeah, for sure. I think I want to be like, I never want to be the guy. I mean, you saw it too. The guy who's like in the clubhouse, he's there overstaying his welcome. He's there too long. You say what's up. Next thing you know, he's sitting down next to you in your locker. I never want to be that guy. I want to say hello. I want to like congratulate guys. I'm playing well. I didn't get out. So when they won, I'd go in there. I'd grab a beer, sit down, drink with the guys a little bit, and celebrate. But I never wanted to be in their space in the clubhouse when they're dumping booze on each other. I just kind of wanted to stay out of that. I wanted to make sure they had their space to celebrate, and they did, and they deserved it. But for me, it was kind of cool just to sit back and watch that part of it. But when someone did kind of approach us, it was cheers and congratulations and the whole thing. But I want to also make sure that there is a line. I'm a former player, not a current one, and I want to make sure I respect their space.
Did you like Kinsler and AB go like in the back room and dump champagne on each other, like where no one was watching? You guys were like, "Hey, look at us, guys!" Nobody can see, just us three.
Oh, dude, the funny part was like I'm looking for a couple of beers during the celebration. Everybody's like, the beers are gone. I'm like, bullshit. This is a big league clubhouse. There's a stash somewhere. So sure enough, you go behind the weight room, take a little tunnel behind the training room, and next thing you know, you see this big dusty ass fridge. I'm like, there it is. It was like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Sure enough, you open it up and the thing is just filled and stacked with beers. I'm like, it was here somewhere, man. We just had to dig for it.
That's good. That's good. I like that. So I'm wondering, when we look at a World Series title like this for the Rangers, do you think there will be teams that try and kind of copy any of the formula that you just went over, right? How do you think the league kind of shifts after a World Series championship like this for Texas? I know you mentioned, develop within, every team realizes that at this point. Are there any market inefficiencies? Like you said, hey, we invested a lot of money into an infield that was the best you consider the best infield in baseball, championship infield. Is there a market inefficiency there to an extent where, some teams will not dance in that playing ground anymore?
Yeah, I think so. I think the biggest thing is that I think it's going to be interesting to see how teams operate with more playoff teams, right? Do they think that they have a better chance to get into the playoffs? And especially this year when the teams that were in the bye, with the exception of the Astros, the teams that were in the bye round, the ones who had the most success. I think that's something the league's really going to have to take a hard look at to see if that is something that's going to be efficient going forward for teams that won. Because I think now if you have teams that think that they can get in with the bye and have that kind of success, then hopefully we'll start to see some teams invest in free agency, because if you just get in, you got a real shot. For me, just my opinion, I don't think that the first round, say you win your wild card round and then you go play the team that had a great year and had a bye. I think the team that just played has got a massive advantage. I don't think the team that had a bye is rusty, but I think the team that's already won has built up momentum, and the postseason is entirely about momentum. You want to get it, you want to keep it. If the other team's got it, you want to steal it back. So by the time that team that had a bye, whether it's the Braves, the Dodgers, Baltimore and Houston, by the time they've even played, the other team has already had big moments. They've had big homers, they've had big punch outs, big plays on Ds. They've celebrated and they've dumped champagne on each other. By the time that other team's even thrown a pitch, that bye team has already done that. Or the first round team, the wild card round team has already done that. So I think that there's a massive advantage there. And if teams feel like they can get into that round and they can maybe be aided by some free agency help, hopefully teams will be more incentivized to spend some money.
It was a big topic of debate.
Oh, I hate that. I hate we rested so we were rusty. Fuck that, man.
No, they're not rusty.
You're supposed to be a better team. You're supposed to win. And it's never affected the Astros. It's affected a lot. And it's only the teams that lose. Because, listen, the Rangers and the Astros, when they played each other, the Rangers had more time off before the LCS than the Astros did.
True.
So they should have been rusty and should have lost, right? Yeah. The Diamondbacks had more time off than the Phillies, and they won. So don't give me – don't
I don't buy the rust either.
I agree with what you're saying, though. The momentum and the moments they've already – that makes more – now, if someone said, listen, we've already done this, we've already made some moments, then what he said I agree with. But don't use the rusty excuse because, they went in to play the Astros, when they went in to play the Orioles lined up their pitching. They had Bradish, they had Kramer, they had all their guys lined up, Rodriguez, just how they wanted it, right? Where the Rangers were like, oh, we used Eovaldi, we used all these guys, we used Montgomery. Oh, no, how we can – and they went in there and whooped their ass. It had nothing to do with rust. They just played better.
Yep.
Sure. I totally agree. To me, it's not a rust issue at all. There's no way you're rusty. You don't even have a full week off, and you're going into the first round of the playoffs where everything is on the line. There's no way you're rusty. I just think like I said, the other team's got built up momentum at that point, right? That's all I'm saying. I don't buy the rust thing at all. I totally agree with you on that front.